Greetings and welcome to the Wednesday, May the 14th, 2025 edition of Denison Forum's Daily Article Podcast. I'm Chris Elkins, narrating today's daily article written by our friend, co-founder, and CEO, Dr. Jim Denison. A painting by Mark Rothko just sold at auction for $37.8 million. It's a vertical rectangle with two large horizontal blocks, one in maroon and the other in black. A link to it is in today's podcast episode notes. There's nothing else on the canvas. With all due respect to Mr. Rothko, we might wonder if we could have painted this ourselves. Perhaps that's the point. When I taught philosophy of religion at various seminaries, I always included a section on art history in the belief that artists reveal our culture to us in ways we often cannot see otherwise. Rothko is Exhibit A. The Russian-born painter immigrated to the U.S. in 1913 at the age of 10. His father's death a few months later left the family without financial support and led Rothko to sever ties with his Jewish religion. Fluent in 4 languages, he was a brilliant, though erratic student who viewed art as a vehicle for emotional and religious self-expression. In his lifetime, he experienced the Great Depression, faced anti-Semitism, and lived through 2 world wars and the conflicts in Korea and Vietnam. Heavily influenced by Nietzsche's emphasis on the tragedy and emptiness of life, the dark colors and abstract expressionism of his later work focused on transcending the individual and an almost mystical sense of the unknown. Long preoccupied with darkness, death, and mortality, Rothko died by suicide in 1970. When you look at the painting that just sold at auction, you see and feel what you bring to the painting, not what it brings to you. It is but a window permitting and even inviting you into your inner self. You discover the meaning that exists, in a sense, painting the painting yourself. And that, Rothko wants us to believe, is the only meaning there is. According to Jean-Paul Sartre, man is nothing other than what he makes of himself, end quote. Millions of people who have never read him or other existentialists nonetheless agree. It is conventional wisdom today that truth is personal and subjective, that there are no absolute truths, which is an absolute truth claim, and that we are free, or condemned, to find our own purpose in this world. The good news is that a new generation is coming to see this deception for the lie that it is. At a time when the American dream of affluence is falling apart, when Americans trust each other less and many do not even know their neighbors, when we feel as untethered as an astronaut floating in space and struggle from chaotic stress so viscerally that many adults are now sleeping with stuffed animals, many young adults are choosing a different path. According to a Free Press profile, Zoomers, who are adults under 30 years of age, are quitting the rat race, skipping the $8 lattes, and buying homes in towns you've never heard of, end quote. In choosing family over career, many are leaving cities for smaller communities and rural living. They know what happiness research has resoundingly concluded. Healthy relationships are the key to flourishing. Billionaire investment guru Warren Buffett could have told us this long ago. He still lives in the same Omaha house he purchased in 1958, calling it the 3rd best investment he's ever made. The top 2, his and his wife's wedding rings. What young Americans are learning about meaning in life is turning many toward the Lord. While secularism has been on the rise among younger generations for some time, we are now seeing a religious resurgence among young men, religious revivals on college campuses, and more students than ever reading the Bible. Newsweek reports a surprising rise in religiosity in their generation, along with a decline in secularism, while Vox headlines, "Gen Z is finding religion." Even Silicon Valley, long a bastion of millennial secularism, is witnessing a spiritual revival of surprising proportions. None of this should surprise us. One way the Lord redeems the brokenness of our fallen world is by allowing it to show us the darkness of the human condition without Christ and resulting need for light beyond ourselves. After decades of sexual quote-unquote liberation and the plague of pornography, adultery, and broken homes it has produced, many want a better way. Abby Laub is the Director of Communications at Asbury University, the site of a 16-day around-the-clock worship service that drew 50,000 visitors and included students from over 200 schools. She explained, "If you look at the world and you look at what is going on and what Gen Z is facing, I just think they are absolutely desperate for something other than what the world is giving them right now." End quote. Popular atheists like Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens assured us that we don't need God to live with meaning and purpose, but the consequences of their influence are proving them wrong. From the nihilism of abortion to the hopelessness of euthanasia, a society that commodifies and commercializes life is finding death in its place. Mark Rothko's art, especially his later work, is popular in large part because it holds a mirror to the bleakness and hopelessness of the culture that drove him to despair. Now it's our turn to offer that culture a better way. My fear for Gen Z is that they will turn to religion about Jesus rather than experiencing a transforming relationship with him. Having faith in faith is nothing new. The demons also believe and shudder, according to James 2, verse 19. As I noted yesterday, Jesus intends to make us not just better people, but new people. But embracing the new requires us to release the old. Confessing and repenting from sin is essential to being forgiven for it. Admitting we need the transformation only Christ can make, and then drawing closer to Him through regular Bible study, prayer, worship, and obedience takes time and discipline. If Gen Z and other Americans are to pay the price of transforming Christianity, you and I must lead the way. When we choose to obey our Father, His Spirit makes us like His Son, as revealed by Romans 8, verse 28. As we submit to His Spirit and live with holistic holiness in accordance with Ephesians 5:18, we become the light of the world amid the darkness of our day, as taught in Matthew 5, verses 13 through 16. And I often say, the darker the room, the stronger and more attractive the light. I passed a church sign recently that declared, "If Jesus did it for me, He'll do it for you." What has Jesus done for you lately? Listeners like you support Denison Forum's mission to deliver news discerned differently. As a ministry nonprofit, we are fully donor supported. To partner with us, please donate today using the donate link in our show notes.